Hello YouTube and welcome. It is Chris Dyer at Reborn Martial Arts here in Springfield, Virginia. We are continuing our series on block, lock, blow, throw. Today we're going to be looking at needle at the bottom of the sea. But yes, share our content with all your friends if you like what you see. Now let's get back to the needle at the bottom of the sea. All right, so needle at the bottom of the sea. So this is an interesting move. I'll demonstrate first from this side. So we do this in a couple different postures and a couple different forms, but the general idea is a low positioning. I'll just do it with some basic footwork. So I'm going to start with one hand. I'm going to press downwards, and then my other hand is going to come over top. And say I'm walking forward with this, so I'll do this rocking sort of motion with my hands. Again, going forward. So I'm down, move forward, down, move forward, down, move forward. It's this kind of wringing out your arms sort of motion. Let's take a look at a couple applications, starting with the block. Okay, so let's take a look at application. We're going to start with the block. The hands going low. I've talked about this with a lot of my students, is the hands, whenever we're doing something low, it doesn't necessarily need to be low. So for example, if Mike is trying to punch me, it doesn't make sense for him to punch me in like lower abs, unless like I have a really, really tight guard and that's the only thing that's open. Sure, that a low strike makes sense. But this technique can be done against a higher thing if my hands are up high. So I'm just dropping my hands down low. But for our first easy application, the easiest one for people to see is against, if he does try to grab low or grab in, and I'm just dropping my hand down and I'm falling down on top of this. I'm pressing in towards him. My other hand is obviously prepped. One hand went down low and instinctually the other hand came up high. And so if this one diffuses his energy, blocks it down, knocks it out the way, this hand's high, the next action is going down from here. And so I'm working this idea of one hand high, one hand low, one hand high, one hand low. So I'm always prepped to go in either direction like so. So I can be here and this hand's now prepped this direction. Again, let's do that again. 1, 2, I'm down this direction. So this is actually, it doesn't make sense for him to zombie grab like this, but if he backs up just a little bit and maybe he shoots in, so going like a double leg, I might stop his motion this direction, or if I want to escape to the side, exact same thing, boom, boom. Now I'm here and I'm cutting this angle. So I'm doing this low sort of block. We also can do this against a kick. So I really have to get low in this case. We often will say if a person body kicks you, that's unusual. Most self-defense street fights or whatever, nobody's throwing kicks. I think it's pretty common out there. People understand now that kicks don't actually happen in real-life street fights. If a person does try to kick you in the leg, they actually do know what they're doing, and then you're in a real bad situation. So we're actually going to assume he does know what he's doing, and he tries to kick me in the leg, and I'm now deflecting this direction. So the kick comes in, I parry down, or check, 1, 2, go slow so they can see 1. And as soon as I make contact to this gentle, because we're doing soft blocking, we're here, 1, 2, and now I'm redirecting him out the way. So it's this idea, one more time. That was bound to happen at some point. All right, so we simply parry it out the way. So that's a blocking action. Locking is interesting. So say he actually grabs on. So this is an easy one. If a person grabs onto you, lots of easy ways to lock. So I can actually come down with this position, and then we're into this locking position. So it's the hand overlapping sort of thing. If he grabs opposite side, we're here, and we end up with the same positioning. Again, we'll go nice and slow for that. 1. As this hand is coming down over top, like we practice in the form, the other hand is going to wrench up, and we're going to control through here, and then my next position is down towards the neck. We'll come back to that momentarily. So that's locking action. So I'm just locking up his joint, go nice and slow, real slow. 1, locking this position, holding on, sliding up towards the arm, and then I can come back in over top. Blow, block, lock, blow. So low positioning. Again, most common people, if they throw an attack like in a aggression situation, if a person's mad at you and throw attack, they're going to punch you in the face, because that's what people think of when they're mad at something, right? I get mad at Mike, I'm not going to punch him in the gut. I get mad at Mike, I'm not going to punch him in the knee. If I get mad at Mike, I'm going to punch him in the face. That's just the nature of humanity, right? You get mad at this person. So the strike comes in. Most people are thinking about this. Most people are defending this. So actually low strikes make a lot of sense. If he brings up his guard, and we're in this sort of thing, below this hand is below his field of vision. Especially if in an anger situation, he's got tunnel vision going on if he's about to really get into it. So any sort of low strike is actually really effective. People don't see these coming. Boxers will recognize this. You can sit a person down real quick if you can strike in this direction. Notice what our hand is doing. We're cutting it at this angle. Boom. And we're here to the side. So below his field of vision, and I have this initial strike. Then there's also other valuable targets. We're going to go real slow. Boom, through here. You'll actually find this in a lot of traditional martial arts, is these low strikes, because groin strikes are incredibly effective, used properly, can be extremely valuable targets for strikes in a self-defense situation. And also, historically, in armor, you don't have protection there. Right, and if you notice a traditional martial arts, you'll see attacks to necks, attacks to the armpits, attacks to the groin, and things to the back of the leg. These are places that you cannot wear armor. Simply, you just won't be able to move. So you will see a lot of attacks like this. Over here, I strike in low, and I can continue this series. Okay, so obvious low strikes. Boom, 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 alternating the hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, can keep striking low. And then finally our throw. So again, I said, let's come back to this move. He does this. This is how I usually teach this. It's a complicated technique, but I teach this to people when I start teaching this technique. So we're here, strike down, and this starts collapsing his structure. I move in, I strike to the groin, and then I'm going to continue this idea of wish-washing the arms, sliding in position. I'm constantly shooting forward his center line and taking new targets. So again, he goes in, 1, 2, and we're here. Let's turn to the side. And do left side, so left side grab. He comes in, I start this position that we worked on earlier. I offset his balance a little bit. I slide up to the elbow a little bit. I start moving in a little bit. And now as I'm doing this, we'll go a little bit faster. And we're here. One of my favorite techniques. So as this hand is rolling over, this hand is coming down over top, I start washing in. I can strike to the midsection along the way, and I can catch him in this position. So this is needle at the bottom of the seat, one of my favorite techniques. It's one of those ones that's like, it looks like, how is that effective? But it actually has tons of really, really useful ways of doing things. This is just a few of the many, many ways that we can apply this technique. So keep up your training. Let us know if you have any questions, comment below, and we'll see you guys.